Hey everybody, the lighting's a bit harsh. It's 10:30. We're burning the midnight oil, just sipping on some watered down lemonade, but just having a great time diving into the Happy Accelerometer. This program is a big one. There's a lot of features, and I'm excited to show you guys kind of what to do and what you need to do to get each level a 2, a 3, and a 4. You can see that I actually had to write myself some notes as we go through this to remind myself of what to do for every single thing because it's so long. All right, so let's get into it. For a level 2, what you need is a sprite that moves around the canvas. The sprite must start in the center and move around to each edge of the canvas. You must display the accelerometer values, and when the sprite hits an edge, a sound should play. So now I think in the previous video, we covered pretty much everything here that you're going to need, except for when the sprite hits an edge, a sound should play. So let me show you how to do that really quickly. Then we'll dive in a little bit to the level 3 and 4 work. Okay, so let's take a look at our designer view. If you open up the media drawer right here, you can get a sound and you can drag it in to your app right here. And you can look at your components. You can see sound 1, sound 2. And then if you scroll down, you can see something new that we haven't really talked about before. It's called the media drawer right here. And this is where you store all of your media, your pictures, your any GIFs. You can actually use GIFs. I think you can use videos, sounds for sure. And to get those into your app, you just upload them. You can download sounds from the internet. There's a multitude of places where you can go to get sounds, or you can use the ones from Project Lead the Way where the guy says top, bottom, left, right, all that stuff. So we can choose the file right here, and we are going to so we have the top in there already. Let's get in right, and we'll upload that one. Okay, and now you can assign sound to the source to be say right. Okay, so now sound 1 is say top, sound 2 is say right, etc., etc. Okay, so now when we want to play that sound, we're going to do this. We are going to choose image sprite, and we want to play that when you hit the edge. So we're going to use the edge reached block right here. And it says, what do you want to do when you reach the edge? What we want to do is we want to play sound 1. Let's say sound 1. And let's say sound 1 dot source. No, do. Okay, what do we want to do? We want to, okay, we want to call sound 1 and then play it. All right, so let's test this thing out. Let's go ahead and save our program. Even though I'm kind of realizing you don't have to save everything in App Inventor, it still works. I'm still trying to stay in the habit of saving just to protect my work, and saving is just, it's always good. So let's see, we're gonna have to reconnect here, AI companion. Let's scan that QR code, and here we go. Let's see how it works. Now it's been loading a little bit slow. Here we go, 83%. Takes a second to get going. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now anytime you hit an edge, let's see how good I am at keeping it balanced here. Anytime you hit an edge, all right, let's just hit an edge. It says top, and then it just keeps saying top forever. It's great. Even when the screen gets dim. All right, that's annoying. Let's go ahead and kill the app. So that noise will stop. So there you go. We've added a sound to it. So I think now we've covered pretty much everything you need to know for the level 2 work. Let's look at level 3. What you need to do there. So you must display the values for the sprite location. Think we're probably not really going to cover that too much. This is how you display the values for the accelerometer right here. So I'm just going to let you add another modification, add another one of these and just modify it a little bit to get your positions of your sprite right here. Remember, you can get your sprite positions right here. Where is it? Like image sprite.x, you can get your location right there. So it should be a pretty easy modification right there to get the values there. All right, so, but when the sprite hits each edge, a different sound should play. Okay, so now here's where I forgot what to do last time. I had to restart the video. and remind myself of what to do. Okay, so what you're going to do, let's move this out of here. We're going to use if then procedures to get to have 4 different options for depending on which edge we hit. So let's go ahead and open up, I believe, the logic, no, pardon me, the control, and we'll pull out the if then block. Now we can click this blue settings thing, and we can add in different, or we can add in more else if, more possible conditions. So there we go. I believe we want 4 of them. So basically what we're going to do is if we hit the top edge, let's say, then we'll play the top sound. If we hit the bottom edge, then we'll play the bottom sound. If we hit the right, then we'll play the right sound. If we hit the left, then we'll play the left sound. So let's go ahead and plug this in right there. Now we need to figure out what to do with this if statement. Like, how do we tell the computer to recognize the top edge? Well, it turns out that the edges, what am I trying to say, are numbered. And they go like this. 1 is the top. Let me check. Let me make sure I'm not giving you bad information, because that would be something that's possible. Let's see. You may just have to look through the tablet or through the PDF here. Which page is this on? True. Sound components, yes. Okay. A notifier. Boolean, yes. Screen 1. Screen, sorry. Iteration, click the happy image. Chained conditionals, okay, we're getting there. Okay. All right, so I think it's in the PDF. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's not going there. We'll have to figure it out. You can just test it too. It's either, I think 1 is the top, 3 is the right, -1 is the bottom, and -3 is the left. Anyways, what you're going to do is you're going to do this, and you're going to plug that in here. If edge, and you're going to get the edge, and you're going to say is equal to, and then we'll pull in a number right here, a number block, and we'll say to 3. Oh, okay. Well, we'll delete that. Let's plug in our 3 here, right? If that is equal to 3, then play sound 1, right? This one is going to be if it's equal to -1, then play sound 2, etc., etc. Okay, so there you go. That is how you do, you play the different sounds for each edge. All right. So now, when the edge is reached, the game should end and a different sad sprite should replace the happy one. Okay, so here we get into some more interesting stuff. We get into we need to add another sprite. So we're going to go back to the designer view, and we'll add a second sprite. Let's see, sensors. Where is sprites? Is that under the... is that under drawing and animation? Sure is. Okay, here we go. Pull in image sprite 2. Obviously, we're going to edit our properties, pull in a new picture for it, etc., etc. And then we'll go back to our blocks. Now, the tricky thing is you only want the sprite to pop up after the game has been lost by hitting the edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on image sprite 1. No, pardon me, we're going to click on, where is screen 1? We're going to put screen 1. So when we start the program right here, I'm going to put this kind of at the beginning, even though blocks can sort of go in any order. When you just initialize screen 1, when you just start screen 1, we want to do something. We want to set image sprite to be visible. So let's see, set image sprite. Now I figured something out. You can actually just kind of grab any of these and you can change them. So it's kind of neat like that. You can just set image sprite 1 visible like that. So you can just change it right there. So you don't have to look through the whole list and find the one you want. And then we can change that one to, if you go to logic, we can make the visibility of image sprite 1 to true, and we can make the visibility of image sprite 2, we can make that one false. Let's go ahead and do that. Doesn't want to plug in. Why not? Oh, heading. Oh, of course. Okay. So obviously a heading couldn't be true or false. There you go. All right. So our visibility is true for image sprite 1. Visibility is false for image sprite 2. We are going to change that later when we hit an edge. Okay. So when the edge is reached, in addition to hitting the edge, we want to do something we want to call a procedure. Now, we haven't really looked at procedures before. A procedure is something, it's a pre-built set of codes that you can call in the program. So it's similar to a block in some ways. It's basically a block that is you refer to it later in the program in a way. So here we go. So we're going to do this. We're going to name this procedure handle edge. So what to do when you hit the edge, and there's some things that we want to do. So what do we want to do? Let's see. When the edge is reached, when the edge is reached, we want to end the game. The sprite should replace a sad sprite should replace the happy one. So when the game ends, disable the accelerometer to keep the sounds from continuing. Also a procedure. Okay, so we're going to do this. So we're going to basically reverse it so that the happy sprite disappears and the unhappy sprite reappears right here. So look back up here, basically just reverse that here. And then we're going to call this procedure right here. Okay, so whenever an edge is reached, it plays the sound and then it calls the procedure. The procedure is going to make the happy sprite invisible, make the sad sprite visible, and you also want to disable the accelerometers. Okay, so you can use this right here, and you can just set the enabled value to false. That will disable your procedure. Okay, there we go. So that's what you're gonna do there to replace the happy sprite with an unhappy one. And when the game ends, disable the accelerometer. Okay, so for level 4. So now we want to make the unhappy sprite clickable to resume the game. That's actually pretty easy to do. You're just going to use image sprite 2. You can use drag, flung, touchdown, touch up. You can just use this when image sprite 2 is touched. When image sprite 2 is touched, you want to do something. And what you want to do is prompt first to ensure that the user is ready to begin. Okay, so you want to use a notifier to ask them, are you sure are you ready to go? And they can either click yes and it will restart the game, or they can click no and it'll go back to the screen they were already on. If they click yes, you want to reset the sprite location in the middle of the canvas, and then resume functioning of the accelerometers. And once they choose OK, let's just delete that because they've already chosen OK. All right, so the last thing I'm really going to show you is where to grab the notifier from. If you go to the designer view and you use, I believe that is a user interface, notifier. So you drag the notifier in. Notice that the notifier is not actually a part of the app right here. It's not visible. It's not visible until you touch. Let's pull that in there. We know that's something we want to do. It's not actually visible until you touch image sprite 2. So then you want to use notifier, and we are going to use notifier. Let's see. We are going to use this notifier right here. And then we're going to use also in the notifier the after notifier after choosing. So after your user makes a choice, what do you want to do? Okay, so I'm going to let you guys look through the PDF and kind of just figure out what to do on your own for these last two to restart the app. That'll be your level 4 work. All right, so hopefully this was enough to get you guys to level 2 for sure, and then enough support to make the level 3 attainable, and the level 4 will be a challenge, but still will be doable. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your programs.